But there was once, in the misty city of Königsberg, down by the Baltic Sea, a man who everyone knew was good. Well, he got up at 5 o'clock every morning, and you've got to be good to do that. More than that, he refused to wear elastic. He designed himself a pair of suspenders made out of clockwork, and he always went for a walk at exactly the same time, 2:30 if you're counting. And the people of Königsberg wondered how you could have time at all without old Father Immanuel Kant to show you the way. And he wrote great books. He wrote them on geology, geometry, geography, geophysics, astrophysics, paraphysics, metaphysics, health and harmony, health and safety, law and jurisprudence, law and order. And he read great books too. So it was no surprise one day when he disappeared into his closet, holding into his hands a great book by an eminent Scotsman. But everybody muttered, because they knew in that day, but not in this, all books by eminent Scotsmen were either full of threadbare morality, bankrupt theology, or coruscating, corrosive concepts of an absolutely brilliant nature. And this book had all three. It was Pepe, Kant's manservant, who heard it. Heard the bellow in which agony was mixed with ecstasy. And he went down, he went before his master and he said, "Are you all right, master?" And Kant said to him, "It is this book, Pepe. It has just proved to me God does not exist."
"Oh, master, I wish you hadn't told me that. I'm going to have to wash my ears out. That's blasphemy."
"Don't worry, Pepe. This book is also proved to me you don't exist either."
"What, me? I don't exist. What have I done, mister?"
"Don't worry, Pepe. As long as you keep on making the tea on time, nobody's going to notice. And it's worse than that. This book has done something much worse. It's proved to me I do not exist. And I have to confess that's a bit of a wrench."
"What have you, me and God ever done to Mr. Human? He's so horrible about us."
"That's not the half of it, Pepe. This book has just proved to me that philosophy doesn't exist. And that means I'm out of a job, and I suppose you are too."
"Well, what are you going to do, master?"
"I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay in my closet, and I'm going to think. I'm going to think the thought that answers this man's thinking. The thought that will explain all thinking, the hardest thought it is possible to think." And Pepe was greatly impressed, and he told all the people of Königsberg all about it, and they couldn't wait to hear the thought. And more than that, all their clocks stopped working because they didn't have Kant to set their clocks by. It was 5 o'clock one morning when they heard the bells ring wildly, and they went down, and there was Kant looking smug, and the people of Königsberg came before him, and they said, "Have you done it? Have you thunked that thought?" "Brilliant! Yeah, I have thought that thought that's never been thought, the thought that is the hardest thought to think, the thought that will explain all thinking. And now I will tell it to you. We think by means of thought." Thank you. Except, of course, he called it an a priori synthetic truth, which made it sound so much cleverer. Anyway, one of the audience said, "Well done, Mr. Kant, that's so wonderful. I'm going to have to get a bigger act to understand it, of course. But you seem to have explained thought so well. But you ain't explained morality. Why can't I just turn round and hit the person behind me?" And he did so. And the person behind him hit him back, and soon there was a fight in Königsberg. And off Kant went, and pondered and thought another thought that nobody has thought before. The thought that was going to explain all morality. And throughout Königsberg there was silence as they waited to it, punctuated only by the occasional "Ow! Get off!" howl as somebody was hit. They waited and waited and waited and waited, and then at 5 o'clock one morning again they heard the bells, and again they went down, and again they went before Kant, and again they asked, "Have you?" "I have thunked that thought that's never been thunked. I've plundered the ponder that's never been plumbed. I can explain morality. We have morality by means of morals." Thank you. Except, of course, he called it a categorical imperative, which made it sound so much cleverer. And everybody gave Kant 3 great whoops of joy. why. And Kant offered to explain then and there art. But the people of Königsberg had enough of this, and they said no, 2 critiques was really quite enough for them. They didn't want another one. And anyway, nobody was going to fund art, so it didn't matter. And off Kant went back to his closet. And all the young thinkers throughout Germany, they all heard of Kant and his many exploits. They all went off into the beer gardens, and they came back with new principles of their own. We had a principle for good, a principle for bad, a principle for will, a principle for being a human, just in case you weren't. And so philosophy entered its golden springtime. A springtime that lasted until the wild pipes of romanticism led it quite astray. But you know, in all this welter of thought, people forgot to ask the obvious question, which is surely not, how are a priori synthetic truths possible? That's to you and me. How is it possible to know something has happened before it's occurred? But rather, why on earth would you want such knowledge? And who but a liar, a charlatan, a philosopher, a journalist or a politician would ever want us to believe in it? Matthew Hammond, that is Stand Up for Letters. Thank you.